Recording is on.
So welcome everyone. We are in the 30th week of 2019. There are only 5 weeks left until the Eternity Ethereum ERC20 token stop working, meaning it will become non-transferable on Ethereum. And the Lima hard fork upgrade is also planned and scheduled for September. And we have here a big group of several people working on several features and products in the Eternity ecosystem. And I will moderate like every week through all of you. And we do it basically like a public recorded stand-up that you update each other. And if there are questions, write them down, ask them at the end, ask them in the forum. And also because these groups getting bigger and bigger every week now, you can, of course, just drop out if you don't have that much time after you gave your update. You don't have to listen to the whole call. You can still do this whenever you have time, check the recording, and then, just directly reach out to the people you need to talk to. So I would like to start with Pivo today, because I see your camera open. And also because there are several things which are very important for us. One is the governance application, not only the front end, but actually also the weighted delegated polling, and also the Graffiti app, which is one of the few apps we have and which have been used already around the globe. And so please give us some updates about your past week's work.
Yes. First, let me start with the Graffiti app, as I did just read the forum post about it. We basically finished the work on it. It's working, everything's working well. And before the Eternity Universe conference, we want to make a public testing phase of the app. So in the forum, you can find a thread on the blockchain apps section that describes how you can take part in the public testing. It will work like you open the Graffiti app at graffiti.eternity.com in your base app. Choose testnet as your network, and you will be given testnet tokens and can just play around with it without spending any money or having any obligations there. So I encourage everybody to try it out. On the other hand, we were spending a lot of time this week starting to plan the governance app and also starting to implement some phases of the governance app already. So on Monday, we had a workshop with part of the Ape Unit team in Berlin and figured out how we want to do governance on Eternity as a first version, using or making use of smart contracts. So there will be a weighted delegated polling mechanism happen in a smart contract where each poll or anybody can open a poll with different options. Anybody can vote or delegate his votes to another account on each poll. And there's a registry that lists all of the polls. So it will be quite transparent what is going inside of there, and we will build some nice tools around it to interface with this contract. And yeah, work on the smart contract side already started. And in the next week, we will start work on our aggregation backend that simplifies data for quick access and make some caches. So it's fully trustless. And the front-end work will also start in the next week.
Great. This
was
really nice.
Update. And I think what else can be mentioned is that we were having some discussions about how we want to support token migration when the old token is no longer transferable, and we will also work on this next week.
Cool. One question here from my side, or maybe one thing. There is, one startup in the Eternity ecosystem called Yeah. They are planning to, or doing a lot with art and basically tokenizing art. And they will have a presence at the Ars Electronica in Linz. And there might be, if everything goes well and the Graffiti app works as it's supposed to work, there might be a chance to also try it out and use it there and have it projected to the visitors of that conference. But
Yes.
let's
The current
yeah.
installation of the Graffiti app will definitely allow to make this happen.
Perfect. So this is really nice and good news, and I think also interesting for the community, but I think also very interesting for all wallet developers, because as we are getting applications that interact with wallets more and more now in the future, we will also have to be careful with updating our SDK, breaking endpoints, and just keeping them up and running. I think it's a responsibility on each and every side. So a little bit also just hosting maybe some of the stuff yourself, so you can be sure that it doesn't break. But on the other hand, also watching out from the side of the SDK teams and wallet teams, that when they change stuff, that they also check the existing apps and see if they break, and then also figure out why this is happening. And therefore, I would like to go to Stoyan, who is also here in the call, and coordinating the efforts on the base wallet. So Stoyan, please give us your update.
Oh, sorry. I can't figure out when it's muted, unmuted, but here I am.
We can hear you.
Great. So we have a release coming up on Monday as part of wrapping up the sprint. In this release, we have a new version of the naming system naming system functionality where you can send to a name in addition to claiming one and seeing your claim names. The next effort in regards to the naming system after that would be to be able to assign the name to a different account. Right now, the account you claimed it with is the only one it's assigned to. Also in this upcoming release on Monday, we have a few optimizations that I made. One is something that you, Emin, pointed out, which is at the success screen in desktop. It's better if the view changes completely so that the user doesn't, so the user is sure that the transaction went through and it's not stuck in some strange place. So that's coming up on Monday. We added the version number and settings, and we also, there's one other issue with, previously there's this message that said when there's a new version of base app, you need to close the tab or restart the app, but it's a bit confusing what restart means in the context of a web app. Is it like closing the tab? Is it closing the browser? Is it clearing your cache? So instead of having to make sure that the user understands this, we just put an update button. So they just click the button and it auto refreshes and cleans the cache.
Really cool.
And yeah, so we also have a number of small bug fixes that I'm not going to go through for the next. So we're already planning what's going to be available in the next release. We finished the translation implementation. We also put in the first version of the Chinese language in there. And now we're going to give a link to the Chinese guys to check out how it works, if the characters are big enough, because glyphs kind of tend to get squished more because they're square. And there's one restriction that we right now have on domains. Right now there's a hard-coded list of allowed domains to run as apps in the base app, because there's a vulnerability in Android that we need to resolve. So we, instead of resolving the vulnerability, we put the hard-coded list, but obviously that's not decentralized because it can be a hard-coded list. So next sprint, we're going to focus on resolving this vulnerability so we could remove the hard-coded list of apps that can run in the base app. And we are back at testing with the community. I had previously said that I'd like to incorporate user testing into the process and reincorporate user testing into the process. And we'll be testing one feature with people in 5 continents. For this particular feature, it's important to get a sense of people in different localities, because there may be a bias towards one version on one continent and a different bias in another. So I'm working with Eric from the ambassador. Eric was the ambassador manager to find the ambassadors and for them to find the people so we could test everything. with these people. And that's it for now. More exciting things to be announced next time.
Cool. Thank you very much, Stoyan. And also I would like to point out that you keep an eye also maybe a little bit on the token migration, especially the new upcoming one, which involves the tokens which will become non-transferable. And maybe there will be also some little tweaks or features in the base app that could help there. But I will get back to you on this and also throw you in some random groups that taking care about that. So I'm jumping to the next wallet, which is Milan, and who does the browser wallet. And maybe Milan, have you tried the Graffiti app with the browser wallet yet? And please give us an update about your work.
Haven't tried the Graffiti app yet, but yeah, here's the update from this week from our side. We finished the integration with the air gap vault. So now you can also use the air gap vault with the browser extension. We have few UI changes. We've detached all the additional features into a separate view. You have only thing that is presented to you when you open the extension is now the basic functionality of signing and sending a transaction, and also the transaction history. All the features like tipping and other token creation, allowances and stuff like this are separated into a separate UI view, which is called utilities. We've improved the settings UI and the pages there. We've added some additional features that allow you to gather your to get your private key in plain text after entering your password, to get it decrypted, and to export your key pair and your private encrypted key easier. We've also added this feature that Stoyan also mentioned in the base app, sending transaction to a named account. Now you can send directly to Eternity naming system named account. We also added the feature to so you are now able to switch the token in the send page. When you click send transaction, you're presented the send view, and then you can select what are you sending, whether it is the main Eternity token or a fungible token that you possess. And also you can send it to a named account as well. We also are working on implementing better view for fungible token interactions. We now are able to, users are now able to modify and create allowances to a certain fungible token, and also they're able to track their allowances as well. As I mentioned last week, we now support token creation through the extension, which is currently working with the AX9, which is the proposal for fungible tokens. And we actually, today we discovered a critical, I think, bug with the allowances there. So testing this out into the extension helped us discover this and fixed it on time before it's finalized and in production. And now we are currently also working on stable release, also including Ledger wallet integration. And we'll be trying to create a stable version of the extension by the end of the next sprint, and so that people using it are sure that it's tested out and it's covered with all the necessary security tests for them to be sure they're using the stable and secure version of the extension. And
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Really a lot of updates, and it's super exciting. Maybe you can also reach out. Just one thing that comes into my mind: as soon as this stabilizes and you have, like, especially these tokens, even if it's in the beta, we have like community members like this AENO guy who makes like this blockchain explorer or others, you know. As soon as we have more and more of this, I'm sure they are also happy to kind of start displaying those kind of things. Cool.
Okay.
I also see Andy here in the call, who is from the AirGap wallet team. papers in Switzerland, and you just recently received a donation, so you can keep up with the development, especially with the upgrades and the changes that are still approaching and coming over the next few months. So welcome, and I'm happy to have you here in this round again. So please give us a few words on what has been done on your side or planned.
Yeah, thank you. It feels good to be back. It has been a while, but obviously we haven't been stopping the work. We have been actually heavily focusing on the vault over the last couple of weeks, and especially on the security part of the vault. So we also worked on the Ionic 4 upgrade, which has been finished for a couple of weeks now. But we have integrated more security features, such as now when you open the vault, you always have to authenticate to be able to use it. We added screenshot protection on certain pages, so if someone tries to take a screenshot of his secret, then it will tell the user that the secret is invalid and he shouldn't use it anymore. We have improved jailbreak and root detection. And we also hide the screen when you put the app in the background, just like most of the banking apps do. Then we also have some like an exciting announcement, because we completed a third-party security review. The app has been thoroughly reviewed. We don't have the final report yet, but the preliminary report shows that there were no major findings, and they were not able to extract the secret from the app in any way, which is a very good thing to hear. Yeah, so there were a couple of smaller things which we will address in the next release. And we have also been continuing work on the AE access that we have open, and we have already started to implement the proof of concept of the paged QR that will allow us or everybody to sign contract calls, even longer contract calls, in an air-gapped setup. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Great. Thank you for your update. Also, I mean, this is just a basic suggestion that we give out to the community all the time, that if you have Ledger wallet together with one of the wallets that support that. And yeah, thank you very much for your work, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming updates in the future. I'd like to go to the next person here, which is Andrea. Welcome back. I think you have been on holidays, and yeah, you are coordinating the SDK work. And please tell us what's going on your side. So, Andrea, perfect. Now we see you. No? Now talk. Okay. We can hear you.
Yes, cool. Yes, there was a vacation. I just got back, so I'm a little bit catching up, but I have some updates. Well, as you know, last week there was a major release of the Node version 4.0 that contains a generalized account awareness for state channels. So we had release for Python and JavaScript SDK supporting the new Node version. And since we are at it, I'm gonna update the SDK testnet Node to the 4.00. So you can use it. On the middleware side, there was this week maintenance release that has a fix for WebSocket connection that was a little bit unstable. We found a bug and it was resolved. We're going to be publishing the Docker image shortly. And finally, there is an update about the faucet. I was about to write the blog post about it. We have introduced a gray listing mechanism for the faucet app. before we didn't add any restriction on the usage of the faucet because, well, we thought like to leave it open until any problem arise. And a few weeks ago there was an automated script that keep pulling founds from the faucet, so we had to introduce the gray listing mechanism where you can top up an account only once every 4 hours, and that's it on my side.
Cool, thank you. Good to having you back, Andrea, and thanks for the contributions. I also see Daniela here, which is coordinating the Elixir SDK work. So Daniela, please give us also your update from the SDK side.
Hello, everyone. Our update from Elixir SDK team, we adjusted the channels to work correctly with all kinds of accounts. Now it's not a problem to post channel transactions between different account types. We made a lot of additional improvements and tests to be sure that everything works as intended. We still have to make some tests and maybe adjustments to channel-specific workflow transactions like channel slash, channel close solo, and etc. But all transactions which are from normal workflow, like channel open, deposit, withdraw, and close mutual, are now working correctly with any account type and its combination, like if initiator is generalized and responder is basic and vice versa. Also, as we start working on testing and fixing other channel-specific transactions, and as first step, we will make sure that we have everything that we need, like serializations to specific structures. So at this moment, we added serialization to proof of inclusion. Data regarding noise listener, yesterday we were debugging it and we found out that we were duplicating incoming messages. So we also start fixing that. Thank you, this is my update.
Thank you very much, as always, on point with a lot of very clear updates. Thank you very much for this, Daniela. And I'm just jumping right to the next person here in this call, which is quite new with us. And one of the reasons why we're having this call now at 3 p.m. CEST, David from CoinFabric is here, I think. So David, can you give us your update, please?
Can you listen to me? Hi, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you well.
Thank you. Hi, Emin. Well, Hernan, which is working with us, is he has started to make the sketch he has for the application into the real application with Vue, and that is going really well. And I was testing Python SDK and had some problem. I have to still post the tickets in the repository. I think that maybe I got a transition version or something like that, but just to be sure. So, but I turned the server development for the transactions to JavaScript, and we started to work in it. And I think we are trying to get a basic demo for the next week. We are still unsure if we will reach that, but is what we have in mind. And I think it's going well. Oh, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Also, if you need support, open a ticket, write a blog forum post, or also, of course, just ping Andrea, who's also here in the call directly. And for everyone here, one more time, because we're having new people joining all the time, working on several different products. David and his team is working on a payment application for state channels.
We have really good support in the dev channel, and I have still pending to make the ticket, but I will put it today with no for sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good to have you in the community. Also, someone pretty new and just recently started to contribute is Peter. I think you're based in Bulgaria, as far as I know, and we asked you to make an integration for crypto ATMs, and yeah, so you have started with this last week. Maybe give us a short update about your experiences so far.
Hi everyone, do you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, just making sure that I wasn't muted. So my update on the BATM software. This week I managed to make a base implementation for a Eternity extension for that software. That implementation is taken from a Bitcoin Cash extension. I use their interfaces to implement it for our extension. I made it like this, so now I can use the tester tool and actually test the actual implementation with wallet operations and stuff like this. So for the next week, I'm aiming to finish the RPC integration with wallet. And that's the update on my site. I also later will post link with the forked GitHub repo, so everyone could check out the implementation and what's going on there. And that's on my side.
Perfect, thank you. Also, because I haven't followed up on this last week, I will try to be a little bit better. It's my fault to post this recording in time into the forum, and then you can also just comment there and post links there. Then it's easier to find for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I will do it, and I'll also share it with everyone. So next in line that I see here in the call is Nikita, because your camera is up and running, the only one. So I give you the ball now. Please give us a short update about your past week.
Hi, can you hear me, guys? Hello, can you hear me? Yes?
Very well.
Okay, great.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, as I also said already last week, while most of the core devs are on summer vacation, I thought I'd do some maintenance work on the JavaScript SDK. It was really, really interesting to mess around with it because, yeah, thanks to the basically like finished implementation of AX6, everything is kind of really nice and quick to use. It was really important for me that we do, or that we run into all the problems before the later developers and users will do. So that's why I took it on and integrated it into Angular to just sort things out there. And we stumbled across like many issues and faults which we fixed together with NAS, which was really cool. Like the most important stuff I also published in the forums, so Google will list it. So if people are gonna look for these errors they're gonna get, then they will find like fixes or workarounds.
Thanks a lot for this.
Some of that stuff is going to be fixed directly in the SDK, and yeah, like practice is the best testing. And you asked me to build something, and that really coincides with the really cool news that I got confirmed that I will be doing a hackathon in Rwanda late August, organized by the German Corporation for International Cooperation, which is doing the aid work for the German government in Africa. And yeah, so I said, okay, what was missing actually for all hackathons was like a really, yeah, okay, we have some IDEs, but I was still missing one that would be like, that would adhere to these things, which I also never had from working back then in the Ethereum world.
Yeah.
So that's why I basically decided, okay, come on, man, let's go. And I just built an own Sophia IDE. I don't know if it actually works to share my screen with you guys here, but you can quickly take an exclusive peek because I've never shared it to anyone. Can you see my screen?
No, we can see your beautiful
face. Does it work, guys?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, but I'm able to switch it over. Okay, that maybe like showing it to many people doesn't work because I have actually tested it. Oh, that's actually too bad. Okay, yeah, actually it should share the screen, but okay, maybe if I just I just deactivate the camera. Does it work then? Can you guys see it?
Unfortunately, I cannot see it.
No.
Oh, okay, too bad. Yeah, then it should see, because I thought I might just share it real quick with you guys.
Yeah,
And you could
Jitsi
see a
is not
live
the
demo
most
of it.
stable
But
one when it comes to this.
no, too bad. Okay, no, then I'll just do forum posts, and then you guys can leave me a quick feedback onto that. So the goal is actually to have a like feature complete implementation of all the features. Ah, now
we
you can see
the
it, right?
screen. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
okay. Now
fine.
let's do a quick demo. Let's do a quick demo then. Can you see it still?
No, it's gone again. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. No, okay. Then that's too bad. Okay, then I'll just post it in the forum. So I want to have a feature complete implementation of all SDK features in like if there's time for that, of course. Yeah, in the modern web framework like Angular. So we're gonna just publish it open for everyone, so people can just copy and paste the best practices and won't have to dig through like complicated docs which are not really complete yet. So
Cool. It's
yeah,
for sure
so
also a very good tool for the hackathons and little meetups, and where you can hack around and just experience the stuff that's there already. So very interesting. Please do it, and it's a nice teaser. So now more people hopefully go and jump into the forum and check it out. Nikita, I would jump to the next person if this is fine with you. And
Yep.
as we still have some people to go, for example, I see in this call Christian. Christian, do you want to give your update about the past week?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here as a representative of the DevSuite team. So the updates from us for week 30 is that there's come to life new version of Forge. We actually have released version 3.0 with breaking changes. More information about that could be found on GitHub or Gitbook documentation. We've update them on a regular basis when we have some updates on it. You can see them. They are what are actually the updates from us, like for example, 4G shape Angular, compiler extract details, decoded result, and more and more. We also worked on Angular shape command, but we have found some issues there, and we reported them into the forum. Actually, yeah, Nikita is well aware of that, and yeah, you mentioned that you provided some information and posted on a forum something about the cipher base. Just to let you know that I have tested this, but this doesn't seem to have been a resolution for my case. Anyway.
Oh no, yeah, it was a different one. Yeah, I'm gonna come to yours actually today over the weekend, so I just had to start a little bit earlier on. This will be the next to do.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. Okay, we have started to investigate an issue with 4G and Docker toolbox regarding some forum member who wants to run Docker on Node on version of Windows. Actually, as far as I can remember, it was 8.1 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some changes and improvements to the date and time library in the Sophia examples, and that's pretty much it.
Cool. Thank you very much for this update. I also just kind of announced here that we are also now putting more and more efforts into the upcoming token migration. So this is also going smooth because it will be different in terms of that the ERC20 token will become non-transferable on September 2nd. So I will tell this now everyone every time we have this call every week. And actually there are only 5 weeks left. And I know that Emil, for example, put quite some effort and work already in thinking about it, planning, and you will also support in basically designing this migration process, which is not normal. We are talking about lots of tokens which are still locked on Ethereum. So Emil, maybe give us some updates from your side, not only to the token migration, but just generally what has been worked on in the last days.
Hey. Yeah, as Philip Pugh said, we had a very interesting workshop about the new polling system supporting the Eternity governance model with the next, hopefully it's ready with the next hard fork, and I think, able to draft like a basic specification for that. Other than that, we I did some coordination on the pensions, and it's great that Milan is already working on supporting the X9 for the fungible token. And I just want to say here that it would be great if we have more people to have a look at it, and also writing some tests. And there we need some support, since this thing that everybody will also contribute from using these tokens, and we would like to have as many people as possible involved also in the creation. And then there was a major update for the expansion 2. I think Shupendo talked about last week briefly. That was addressing a lot of the issues that were open on GitHub, and now there are just very few left, and I think then we can proceed with that. Just to mention this again, this is about the communication of wallets and apps, as we have different wallets in the ecosystem. It would be great if they all speak the same standard for app developers that want to build apps on Eternity, and they don't have to care which wallet now the app has to be compatible. And now there's another expansion, mainly authored by Stoyan, which is about the what enable people to create app catalogs and building a standard format for apps to provide information and metadata. And so that could later on also extend it and using token-curated registries or things like that to curate such app catalogs in a decentralized way. And this is also something where still input would be is very, very welcome. Yeah. Okay, I think that's
cool.
From the expansion side.
Thanks a lot. I mean, it's always like, where is the feedback, the best place for the feedback? Is it the GitHub or the forum or both?
Both is fine. I think it depends very much. If you have like a very specific idea, then it's more technical, then I think GitHub is great. If it's if the idea is a bit more rough and you would like to discuss this a little bit first, then the forum is also great. Every expansion has its own forum post, and yeah, and don't be afraid to comment
cool.
there.
Yeah, so like everybody here in the call, I mean, it's basically a very active community member. So when you hear things like this from Emil and you meet someone on a meetup or conference, or then please spread the word, because not everybody will watch those videos from the beginning to the end. It's also something for us. So we just have at least one stand-up per week where we can update each other and get on the same page. We have still people here in the call that have updates. So for example, I see Michal, who's coordinating the naming system integration and also many other things in the protocol team right now. For example, the stand-ups, as Sergey is on holidays. So Michal, please give us some insights about the past week.
Yeah, hi everyone. True, we are truly in vacation mode. So I'm a bit monothematic. It's like week before, it's channels, and naming service, and signaling. That's main areas we take care of. Channels are around improvements for FSM. Signaling just got out from design phase. All parts of the systems are fine, sync is good, so we can introduce signaling. And I can tell you more about naming service because I'm really close to it these days. So subdomains got with another iteration. We will introduce new subdomain transaction to handle subdomains. And whole subdomain feature is going to be like a backend, like a framework for later use contracts. So for transfers and selling subdomains and so on, what users would like to do, what they do now with DNS names, those activities will take place in contracts. And what we implement now is like a framework on protocol side to make it easy and cheap. And the second thing is, and I just pushed the PR with the main part of changes because they overlap a little bit with subdomain. So we need to do it to sync between developers. It's still like halfway. I need to integrate it with VM, backward compatibility. But the most important thing for this call is we need to coordinate with development of tools, because the whole bidding feature is like moderation mechanism to make those giving away names fair, so no one is abusing and doesn't do like land grab of names and code names. So with the Lima fork, we will have options enabled for names. So we need tools giving users ability to bid for those names and monitor current open auctions. So these two functionalities seem essential to keep system fair and available.
Yes,
to
absolutely.
everyone.
I think it's a very good feedback,
So maybe
and we should
we
address
may
this.
even have another call or synchronize via forum with app developers. You can bootstrap your work based on that. If you have something in this is it
Yes,
from
absolutely. I agree, and I will try to organize this. I think it's important that we also have some graphical user interfaces and ways where users can actually interact with those functionality, because if not, there will be a small elite group of people who then run some scripts and grab all names, and this is also definitely something we do not want to happen. So thanks for the feedback and the input, Michal. And I see one more person here also working on protocol level or just onboarding again after quite some time in absence. And I'm very happy to see you here, which is Juraj. So Juraj, please tell us what you have already achieved this week and if the onboarding process and the protocol team works well.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes.
Yeah, basically, we are not directly working on protocol. We basically did a simple demo.
Sorry, Juraj. I got you're the wrong Juraj.
Yeah, so
you're also Juraj. It's hard to see for me because we have two Jurajs, if you believe it or not. But let me just repeat my intro. So very good to have you here in the call too. We have met in Prague in the Eternity bus at the DevCon, and you and your team are very experienced in several areas of blockchain development. The first time we met, we talked about integration into Ledger. You have experience with Tezos blockchain, for example. So, and now you're also doing some stuff around Eternity, and it's very good to having you here. So please give us some news about your work.
So basically, we did like simple implementation of transaction for Trezor. We posted like simple demo on the forum and into the dev chat. There is like repo, you can try, upload it to like the physical device and it will work. So yeah, and we are basically looking for feedback, and if the community is interesting, we can develop it like more deeply. We can add like a SDK for JavaScript. We can do like front-end part with the wallet, and we can do also implementation to Trezor Connect. So yeah, basically that's it.
So it's really nice. We will definitely follow up here, and I will also point some people to give you a proper feedback there. And I hope that we can do more together in the future. And yeah, thank you very much also for joining this call and listening to this update. I think we went through everyone here in this call. there are people that are not here, which are working on, of course, many other features. For example, Tino just joined the protocol team and doing lots of work on the FSM and the state channels. We have Carol, who is constantly working on protocol level and contributing to naming, and also Stratum, which he was involved with a lot. And Juraj, the other Juraj, who is also working on the protocol team and doing some improvements on several modules there. But I could continue with this for another hour, I guess, if we really go through everyone. So I just thank everyone who showed up today and gave his or her update. And yeah, I wish you all a very good weekend, and talk to all of you next week, Friday again, hopefully. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thanks.